show with me, Helena Stevens, and my husband, Chris Stevens. This is a program where we encourage and strengthen families. Today, we have a special guest on our program. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Darlene Paasewe and Reverend Dr. G. Boyka Paasewe. I'm now telling to my husband.
This is a family that is living the Christian life. They are an example of what marriage is in the community. We hope by watching this video, you will be blessed. Now let us join Dr. and Dr. Paasewe.
And along with my wife, we will be talking about tips on successful marriage. I want to welcome my wife, Mr. Dr. Paasewe.
Hello, everybody. Minister Dr. Darlene Brown Paasewe, and I'm very blessed to be the one and only wife of this guy right here. So
good. So we'll be talking about successful marriage. What had made our marriage to work so far? Okay. So the first thing that I can attribute it to is having God in our marriage. My wife will elaborate.
okay, I was just about to say, okay, Pastor, how long have you been married?
Oh, good. That's good. I
So
want you to talk about that too.
yeah, okay. So we've been married for 27 years and 11 months.
Wow.
So this September the 11th is going to make us 28 years married, and it's so exciting. I honestly will do it again with this guy.
So we met in medical school, and the relationship blossomed to the point where we got married during a civil crisis. And here we are today with 6 children and 3 grandchildren.
And of those 6 children, 4 of them are adults, 4 married, and 2 of them, one is the youngest is 11th grade in high school, and the one older than her is still in college. So just those 2 out of the 6 are still home.
Good. So having said that, we as I said earlier on, that we have made God. God is the center and the bedrock of our relationship. All right. So we pray together. We go to church together, and when we have a dilemma, when we have problems, we actually look to the Word of God. What does God say regarding this situation? What does the Bible say? And what the Bible says, there's no argument. Probably you can elaborate if you want to.
Well, no, I think you said it all. Just putting God first in the marriage and understanding that marriage is an institution that was created by, the Lord. That's the first thing. That's the first miracle act. And so if you try to do marriage on your own, I think in today's world, it's not going to be very successful most of the time if you try to do it on your own and in your own strength. So that's why it's really important to have God first, and we're really blessed with that. Early enough in our marriage to have God the center of this union, and it's really been a blessing.
So if there's a single thing that we will let draw your attention to, is having God. Not in a manner where we should worship, but when you're very sure and you practice what the Word of God says concerning your marriage. Another thing that works for us is communication.
Communication, definitely. Communication, we learned it along the way. Of course, I believe a lot of marriages have that problem, and we had it too in the beginning, but we kind of worked through and figure out that we have to communicate with each other all the time. And that is as simple as expressing your concerns, not letting anything stay in, and then let it grow. As the saying goes, when you see a couple divorce over onion peeling on the floor. It's not really the onion peeling on the floor. It's a lot of other things that have piled up together. So it's so important to talk about things as they happen, to talk about it. And in that line, we just established our own little rules and, you know, things that would guide us along the way, which was, if something is very trivial, you know, you might see it as, I don't really be talking about that, talk about something else. Even something as so long as it's important enough for your partner to bring it and say, look, darling, I want to talk to you about this, or why did you do that? It's important enough to give him the ear, or give her the ear, and talk about it, because it might be trivial to you, but it might be something very important to them, because everyone is different. You know, what might not matter to me might matter to him, and vice versa.
And also, regarding communication, it's important that you communicate to your partner if your emotional needs are not being met. Because, you know, in a relationship, you have the giver, the taker, you have a love bank. And most time, reason that some people divorce, one of the reasons is that emotional needs not being met. So it's very important that as you communicate, it's very important to let your partner know whether or not your emotional needs are being met. And if your partner tells you, look, my emotional needs are not being met, again, you need to adjust whatever you're doing to meet your partner's emotional needs.
And with that being said, I'd just like to really throw in, because a lot of times I think with Christian marriages, sometimes people feel, oh, I'm a Christian, and of course you are, but we know that the Bible tells us that my body belongs to my husband and his body belongs to me. And so it's, you know, it's okay for us to be free to talk to your partner, you know, when you're intimate or after you're intimate or whenever you decide to, like, you know, this is what, you know, what about, you know, romancing this way, maybe I would like that better than the other. But I think a lot of times we don't want to talk about that as believers, and it's very important to do so.
Good, yeah. You know, discussing emotional needs. Yep. And another thing I've worked for us is appreciating each other. You know, and many times people are be grateful for each other. Many times it's something everybody want to be appreciated. Every spouse, it's very important that along the way we learn to appreciate each other and express it. Don't just, you know, express it to your partner. You know, honey, yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Even for the little things, you know, probably you have to come home from work, she goes and get food ready, or you go and your husband come home and get something done. Show appreciation. Let her know, let him know, you know, honey, I appreciate it. So appreciating each other for the little things. Not necessarily the big thing, but the little things goes a long way.
Yes, they do. I really appreciate when my husband is there to helping each other. It's also showing that you love me, you appreciate me. And so when you know I'm from work, and especially, you know, like here in America, even at home or wherever this video goes, people go to work, couples work. Regardless of where you are, you do have to go to work. And so it's a sign of appreciation when my husband can come and say, oh, let me wash the dishes, or let me help you peel an onion while it will come home to cook, or, you know, just those little things along the way that we can do for each other, appreciating each other. And I also want to, under the same topic of appreciating each other, is when we have gone through the physical changes, especially letting the marriage last this long. I mean, when I met my husband, when I got married, I clearly remember I was 121 pounds. I had a very flat stomach. It was the best part, you know. But we have to appreciate the changes that we have. At least we still have each other. And I think that's a major thing where people, you know, they try to put down each other. You know, when I met my husband, he was slim. Of course, you know, he didn't have, you know, like men in a certain age, they get, you know, a certain age and they start, you know, grow a little belly. We just appreciate the body changes that we go through, and also those, you know, which is part of the physical changes that your body goes through, the emotional changes. There might be things where he used to like me to do before, he used to like for an activity before that he doesn't like anymore. And so they're, you know, just appreciating those changes and welcoming them and embracing them, that's really worked for us.
Good, so don't focus on what your partner used to do. Focus on what they can do now. You know, that is, you know, key. Because that way you allow your spouse to age gracefully, rather than pressurizing them to do the thing that they used to do. We have, actually, my wife said, that's very important. Help your partner to age gracefully, to accept the changes and work on what you can do now, not what you used to do 5, 10 years ago.
That's right. So then let's talk about trust. You know, as we're doing this discussion, I just want to make sure that it's not any one thing, there's none of these different things, not any one single thing will make a marriage to succeed. It's a collection of them, it's a collection of many, which we are just mentioning a few. So trust is one of those things that have really helped us not to fight a lot or have lots of quarrels about, because it has not been an issue for us. Early in our relationship, we understood to trust each other. And you know, there's a saying, if there's no trust, there's no relationship. Because anything else is going to be like, really, are you faking because I know you don't believe me? Or you have to trust each other. And also trust not only with relationships and other parts of the relationship, but trust with finances. That if I know my husband is into my has to do something with my bank account, my bank card, that's also part of trust. And some people have issues trusting each other with finances as well. So I think trust also extends there. So I'll leave it and let you.
Yeah. Now, also, once you said something about finances, the Bible says that for this reason, a man would leave his father and his mother, cleave to his wife, and the two shall be one. This is also for the mental scripture for marriage. So what does it mean? It says a man would leave, cleave, and the two shall be one. So the first thing, the setting our mentality, we have to renew our minds. So before we got married, it was about mine. That's very important. That transformation has to be made. And after we get married, that mine mentality or vocabulary has to end. We have to transition to where it's now our car, our house, our children, even the car. It doesn't matter who. No, it's not my car. No, if my wife want to go out, she's going to a further distance. The car that's very good on gas, she takes that car. So it's not, this is my car, this is your car, this is my account, this is your account. That has to end, because the only way you can fully move into oneness when you look at everything as it's ours. It's no longer mine, it's ours.
And another importance of doing that too when you have children is they're watching. And I think what you do, they're going to become adults and they're going to do their own things, of course, but at least they will have an example to follow with, oh no, my mom, why can't I touch my car? I know they most likely will not do that because they haven't seen the parents, do that. So they're not just going to leave that topic and not just going to bring on children. Children can cause parents to pull apart. Children is very common. They have their way with parents. They'll ask, Daddy, can I do this? And Daddy will say yes. And then Mommy will come and say, did you tell him yes, you can do that? Why didn't he ask me? So it's very important for the parents to get on the same page with how they're going to manage the children when it comes to discipline, when it comes to so many different things, but just children. Children have a way to drive a wedge between husband and wife. You have to be very careful with that. So we've been really blessed how we're able to manage that.
And that's so true. And sometimes in marriage, on the website, the partner or the spouse that stronger, like when it comes to disciplining the child, I think you should defer to her or him, because children play, like you said, play between you guys, and it came a point where many times my kids come and say, oh, I want to go out. I say, go to your mom. Where I ask her. She's more rigid, she's more systematic. I want to know where you're going, who are your friends, So again, we it's about knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we don't strive for each other's weaknesses, but the strength. In our marriage, I'm a long-term planner. I do a lot of planning, and my wife, she's very good at implementing. So she implements our plan. But we do it together. It's not. I don't play in isolation. But when it comes to implementing, I trust her judgment. She's a very strong implementer. And likewise, we sit and we plan, but I'm a long-term planner, and that's my strength.
Yeah. So somebody might be the person's strength, and the opposite, it might be their weakness. So for example, on planning and implementing, he likes to plan, and he's not a person that would like do a lot of it, do. So which is the implementing part. And so if you see they're not, you know, excited about the doing part and you're able to, then you make up for that. And so then we're able to complement each other, and that planning really comes in handy. So I really, really appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, so and another thing we really want to talk about is conflict. Because conflict, whether we pray, fast, even after 10 years, 15 years of marriage, there will always be conflict. It may not be as frequent as when we started, but there will always be some disagreement. We get on each other's nerves. So at an early stage in our marriage, we have what we call a mutual room. Okay? And that is in the event of conflict or event of disagreement, we've said in our children that there will be no raising of voice. You know, and if I do, or if it reminds me that you're raising your voice, if she does do, you know, I remind her about you raising your voice. So that will call a mutual agreement. There's no raising of the voice. We have to discuss things stable, no matter how painful it's age. So, you know, you want to throw some light on that also?
Sure. It's been very helpful to us to be able to do that because, you know, conflicts will always happen. We've been married almost 28 years, and trust me, we still have first things popping up for the first time that we never had that experience before, so now we have to face it.
Thank you for watching the Family Talk Show. Next week, we will join Dr. and Dr. Paasewe for the part 2 of their discussion on the Family Talk Show.
I want to thank you today for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed the program. Bye-bye.